Hi, I'm Jody Duncan, AIFD, and I'm delighted to introduce you to Beth O'Reilly, our Design Star finalist, as she enters her series for 2014. This is the very first one, and Beth, I can't wait to see what you're going to do.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've got 3 installments for the year, and so I want everybody to watch March. March is all about weddings, and June is going to be fresh about the summer and just bringing in the summer. In September, it's always that time when we think about harvest. So I've got some really fun things that I want to share with everyone, and I'd love for you to tune in to those months where I'll be back with more exciting, awesome blossoms and design tricks for everyone. So what I have going on here, I mean, I guess you see my little bud vase, Jody.
It's so tiny, I can hardly see it.
And this concept of golds and metallics are always going to be in style when it comes to weddings. And we start thinking about weddings in the spring. And this theme is one that I call dipped in gold. And we have a bunch of different techniques that we've used to kind of achieve a really dipped in gold, decadent feeling. And I want to share some of those things with you before we get started. I love these antique carnations. And they're novelty carnations, so it's kind of hard to ask for them by name.
Right.
What I usually do is I like to just ask for the antique muted tones of the novelty carnations, and they're really popular right now. They're so gorgeous, and it's kind of like, you know, Christmas morning when you get all these beautiful carnations, and they're going to be in the muted tones, anything from champagnes to really this just wonderful antique bicolor that we have on these carnations here. There's actually 3 different varieties here.
But they blend so well together, and you can trust your salesperson to totally get that vibe that you need.
Absolutely. And that's part of what I think Nash does so well is, you know, you can tell them the feeling and what you're going for, and they do just a great job of pulling a complex color palette like this one together. So we kind of have almost an ombre effect going on here with all of these muted antique tones. Sahara Roses are always one of my favorite wedding flowers. Love the way they open.
So pretty.
And the Camel Rose, it has just the right amount of kind of that khaki color. And then again, we have the Camel Antique Garden Rose. And I find with the Garden Roses that you really only need to add just a touch of them. They're on the pricier side, and you don't need to fill your arrangements completely full of the Garden Roses. They make a show and a statement just kind of sprinkling them in throughout, so that I've sprinkled those. And I also have the Romantic Antique, and these are just, and of course they smell so wonderful. I also have some cool water roses and some sterling silver roses, which add just a touch of that depth to the arrangement that we're doing. And you know, I've decided to put this little bud vase together kind of to show, we always think of the bride. The bride's our inspiration. And today I'm going to create a bridal bouquet. And I'm going to show you a really cool technique, kind of like a floral jewelry bouquet that goes with this dipped in gold pizzazz of a wedding. And of course, I just wanted to show what can be done. We have this beautiful cylinder vase. You know, UCI has provided us all these wonderful containers, and we've enrobed it with an Oasis garland, and we've just enrobed. It's an enrobed vase. So, and then we have just a gorgeous pave on the top, and I've added some feathers. I used a lot of the Design Master 24 karat gold spray.
Love.
The only spray to use if you're going for that metallic gold. I've sprayed some magnolia leaves with the Design Master, some succulents with the Design Master. I've got beautiful hydrangea, and this is a foliage that I love. This is called agonis, and it's got just that right amount of vintagey purple that gives us some depth, just a sprinkle of it here and there. And if we're gonna go over here real quick, I wanna point out, these are just regular cylinder vases. We've embellished them with some 24 karat gold and some glitter. So I wanted to kind of show everybody, if you wouldn't mind handing me that vase.
Of course, be glad to.
Don't need the cage right now.
Don't need the cage.
So I've used just some painter tape around a regular cylinder vase, and I've sprayed it with the Design Master, and then I also used a little bit of glitter glue and sprinkled my glitter on.
Love.
And we get this really cool effect.
So that's a great way to take cylinders that you already have and just take it up a notch.
Yeah, and you could, you know, if you're doing a wedding that's maybe more on the casual side, you could do that with mason jars even. The other cool thing, which I think everybody can see in the backdrop here, is taking white goose feathers And we've dipped these in gold. So again, it goes along with the dipped in gold theme. I've got gold succulents, dipped in gold vases. So of course, now's the fun part, and we get to make the bridal bouquet, which is of course the centerpiece. This might look like a centerpiece, but the bridal bouquet really is the centerpiece of every wedding.
It's all about the bride. Hello.
And I've worked on this armature, so I'm gonna kind of show you how to create an armature. I've worked on this one. And the way I start making an armature like this, if you want to hold on to that, so
I would be delighted to hold on to it.
First, I start with making lots of strips of the Oasis aluminum wire.
So about how long are the strips, Beth?
Usually I just do like arm's length. I mean, that's good enough measurement for me. I'm an eyeballer.
That's good, me too.
Most of us artists are. Okay, so I have pre-cut a bunch of these wires at about arm's length. And this is gonna be how I start to make the armature. I go about halfway in between and I'll just fold them. You might not wanna do it with your knife. Sometimes I use like a Sharpie marker or something with a rounded edge, but
whatever's handy.
Yeah.
Just grab it.
I'm gonna be dangerous.
I like it.
And then I just start twisting. And this is the handle.
Looks so cool.
Yeah, so there we have a handle, and I'll spread these out. Just kind of splay them out in a circular pattern.
Like a spider web-ish.
Yeah.
Parts of a spider web.
And it's okay if they're not all exactly the same length. I mean, this is kind of a creative endeavor, and I know everybody watching, all of us flower lovers, we're creative people. We just need an idea, a spark, something like this, and we can just take it from there.
Absolutely.
So, then I just kind of weave these around themselves in a circular motion, and I'm just really kind of creating.
Kind of in and out.
Yep, I'm just going to continue, and I'm going to keep on creating this armature.
So that's like the base of what you see here in the completed one.
Exactly.
Got it.
And I would keep working this around and around.
So that's just what you did here, is built that same exact thing.
Correct.
This is
and I might be a little bit neater, you know, if I had the time, but I do want to get the point across of how this armature is kind of put together. So, and sometimes messy is okay.
I like that it's random.
Especially with this wire. You don't have to be like totally spot on all the time. I've seen some beautiful pieces that are very intricately done, and then I've seen pieces that are kind of like scribble.
So that's how this was born.
That's how that was born, and I added pearls on, I added brooches on. Love the chain. I don't know if you can kind of get that little dangly chain where you can show them the chain. That just adds an extra element that I think is just too wonderful. So I also created a little ribbon effect with the wire, and that's going to come into play into the design, which of course everybody's wondering, well, what's the water source? So if you want to keep holding on to that and hand me the Oasis igloo,
be glad to.
I'm going to actually affix this right to the center here. Now I've sprayed it with the 24 karat gold because we don't want our bride to be looking under her bouquet and see some uglies.
Good
so we're going to attach that right there. So I'm going to first start by basing in a little bit of the white hydrangea. And I'm just going to use pieces of the hydrangea.
Great idea.
And one thing you got to be really careful when you're using pieces is that you get that stem really tucked down in there. Otherwise, it's going to fall on the floor when she's carrying her bouquet, and we don't want that. But we don't want to overpower this bouquet with too much hydrangea, so we're just going to give it a little bit of fluff, just a little bit here and there. And then I'm going to start working in some of these wonderful antique tones that I have here. I think I want to put a few of these gold magnolias.
I love those.
Just a touch here and there of these. And this is going to come together really quickly once you've done your wire armature. And the wire armature can be done way ahead of the wedding.
Absolutely.
It can be part of your prep. It doesn't have to be something that you're, you know, the day before the wedding that you're trying to make up really quickly.
Got it done in advance. It's a real time saver.
Yeah. One of the things I always like to do too when I'm designing is a little bit of color grouping. I think it just really makes things stand out. I'm even color grouping my carnations because I want them to really shine as a grouping.
Instead of just one here, one here.
I call that spot and dot. Yeah.
Spot and dot, yeah. It's a highly technical term. Spot and dot.
So we're just getting some of these antique, wonderful champagne colors. Kind of give us kind of a rose gold effect by the time we get some of these flowers in here. And we're going to start working in some of these roses. Yeah, a little different perspective, and always turn your bouquets and turn your arrangements so you can see things all around. And I love the garden roses. We always want to make the garden roses shine. Sometimes I just give them a little blow just to get them open a little bit more.
I understand. I understand. So they can see all that petal count that they paid for and get that fragrance going.
Exactly. And we don't want to leave out our succulents. And what I've done is I've just taken a cowie pick and I've stuck it, I've pierced the back, and I've put a little bit of the Oasis cold glue. And that's going to be good enough for me to go ahead and stick in foam. It's going to be really secure. It's going to go pretty quickly as far as prepping them.
And that's something you can do in advance as well, and have that whole box ready to roll so that when you assemble, it just boom, boom, boom really fast.
And I want to get some of this purple tucked in too.
Here, you want me to hand you that?
The agonis is just, just a touch of this. We don't need very much of it. But we're going to, it's going to give us kind of like a composite cascade. Just something that has a little bit of drip, a little bit of cascade to it, but
it has nice movement. We've got the movement of the chain, and then everything else is fairly tight, but that's got nice movement as well.
And we're going to work in some of these romantic antiques, just a few of those. We don't have to just crowd this bouquet totally full of flowers, but we need to get this complex color palette really evened out.
And it is a complex color palette.
It is. It's definitely something that you kind of want to make sure that
over there,
your salesperson here at Mayesh really understands the color palette.
But they know where you're going with the look.
Exactly.
And this is a fantastic look.
It's the dipped in gold bridal bouquet.
Dipped in gold, I think that's appropriate. And the weight of it is nice. It's not too heavy.
Not too
Sometimes
heavy.
that's a concern for brides.
Oh, sure.
But this, even with the Oasis and that mechanic and all the wire, and then of course all these wonderful blooms, it's not bad at all.
I got some wonderful white bleached pheasant feathers, and I've already pre-curled them, and I'm just going to kind of work some of these in. I'll probably do a little bit of wire.
Okay, is this too high enough? Tell me where you want it.
Yeah,
right there?
That would be great.
I can hold it wherever you want. I love to hold pretty flowers. It's my favorite thing.
You don't want to cover up too much of this beautiful armature. We still want all the hard work that we did
to show.
Yeah.
So you're just going to take that tip and wrap that right in there. And again, it's a decorative element and a mechanic.
It becomes part of the armature now.
It's fantastic.
And it's secure.
And that feather totally didn't mess up what you have going on here.
Exactly. And I may add just a couple of these because I think these are really stunning.
Yeah. Those would make great boutonnieres too, like a smaller version of that.
They would. You wouldn't even have to put any flowers in them.
They're really cool. Little turn, little turn. I love the glitter. It's the feathers and the glitter together is so on trend. It's really fantastic.
We can't stop there. We got to add just a little bit of bling.
Oh my wowie. I like it makes a little noise when those beads strike together too. It's kind of cool.
The beads are fun, aren't they?
It is. Love.
We just have to add just a little bit of our bling in now. And I think we only need like 3 of these.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to overdo it because the bouquet is just pretty enough on its own.
It is. It's pretty fabulous.
We definitely need to get one up here towards the front.
You see?
Now everybody else needs to see.
So
a beautiful, embellished, just a really wonderful work of art for our dipped in gold wedding inspired for the season of March.
So Beth, this has been fantastic. Thank you for showing all this. Thank you for letting me hold it. It is beautiful.
Well, it was my pleasure to create kind of a new wedding trend, the dipped in gold wedding trend. And I can't wait to come back in June and show you guys some more really great, fun flower loving ideas with awesome blossoms from Mayesh.